guys. Thank you. Thanks so much. Welcome to Financial Peace University. Financial peace, two words that don't go together, like airline service. We're so glad you're here. I know some of you didn't want to be here tonight. Some of you, your spouse or your friend or your parents or your kids drug you here against your will. Some of you just don't want any part of this deal. Some of you, if you hear Dave Ramsey said one more time, you're going to kill something. I know you didn't want to be here. I was out in the parking lot a while ago. I saw several sets of heel prints on the way in. You were brought in here against your will. I got to tell you, if that's you, I'm more on your team than that nerd that brought you. Okay? Because I have done stupid with zeros on the end. I know what it feels like to have done stupid stuff with money. How many of you have ever done anything really stupid? Raise your hand. How many of you didn't raise your hand and have a problem with lying? How many of you are like me? You done something stupid, but you weren't just stupid. You were like enthusiastically stupid. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's like you're riding along and the speedometer on the car says, 80 miles an hour. I'm driving. My wife's looking at the map. She says, honey, we're going the wrong way. I said, yeah, but we're making great time. Well, that's what happened to me. I grew up not rich. How many of you grew up not rich? Yeah. And I remember coming in about 12 years old, asking my dad, I said, Dad, I need some money to go down to the Quicksec. We used to ride our bicycles down to the Quicksec over in Antioch, Tennessee. And we'd ride our bicycles down there and get an icy or Snickers bar or that $4.95 necklace out of the plexiglass showcase for that sweetie. You know what I'm talking about. And I said, Daddy, I need some money. He said, how old are you? And I said, I think I'm your son. I'm 12. He said, well, you don't need money. You need a job. And I got to learn about cutting grass that year. Oh, joyful. Any of you ever cut grass for some money? See, that's the kind of house I grew up in. If you learn how to get up, leave the cave, kill something, and drag it home. And so when I got out of school at 22 years old, met my beautiful wife, Sharon, and we got started with our lives, we started off broke. Most people start off broke. How many of y'all started off broke? Some lady like, I'm still there. We started off broke. We were eating off a card table, driving a 1902 Pinto, you remember. We ain't got money, honey, but we got love. It's a good thing, too, because we ain't got no money. And I started buying and selling real estate, and I got rich. At least by a kid from Antioch, Tennessee standards. By the time I was 26 years old, I had a little over $4 million worth of real estate, a little over $1 million net worth, and I was making about $250,000 a year. Now, that's fun. That's like $20,000 a month income, and where I come from, that's rich. We were having a blast. I mean, we went to Hawaii and we liked it, so we went back. I went and got me one of those cars. You got that car you've dreamed about that if you ever got some money, I'd get that car. For me, it was a Jaguar. I needed a Jaguar. I went and got me a Jaguar, and man, within 90 days, I was a Jaguar. Bought my wife some of those sparkly things, and they weren't big enough, so we got her some more. It was fun. It was fun. Sometimes I hear those people say, all those rich people are miserable. Now, I'm not shallow enough theologically or philosophically to tell you that money's going to make you happy. It won't make you happy. But like my friend Zig Ziglar says, he says that you can't afford the Tylenol if you got a headache and you got a little bit of money. It gives you the wiggle room in life to make some choices. And that's what we're going to do spending our time together. We're going to learn about making some of those choices. And it's about kind of finding our way and knowing, how truth really works. 98% truth doesn't work, does it? 98% truth is a what? It's a lie. Because you see, something either is the truth or by definition, it isn't the truth. And what happened to me was I ended up having all that wealth and doing all that stuff right, but I did some stupid stuff. I signed up for a bunch of debt, and the bank got sold to another bank. I know that never happens where you come from. They change the signs like off of Velcro. I don't think they change them so fast. And the guys that in another city now are making the decisions, and they looked down and said, hey, there's a kid here, 26 years old, owes us $1 million, and they freaked out and called our notes. And we spent the next 2.5 years of our life losing everything we owned. We were sued a bazillion times. We were sued so much, the little guy with the sheriff's department that brings those little pink lawsuit papers, We're like on a first name basis with the old boy, you know. Sharon's making him cookies, you know. Come on in, Harold, you know. We were foreclosed on a bunch of times, a bunch of real estate. We ended up just losing it a piece at a time. And 2.5 years was unbelievable. I remember standing with the shower so hot I couldn't stand it in my face, and I would just stand there and cry because I was so scared. And finally, with a brand new baby and a toddler and a marriage hanging on by a thread, we hit bottom and we were bankrupt. I was on one of these TV shows the other day, and one of these talking heads said, "So how did you bounce back?" And I said, well, you know, really, when you fall that far, you really don't bounce. More of a splat, you know. And so I laid around at the bottom of that mess and cried and whined and moaned and blamed everybody else. You ever blame anybody else when you do something stupid? Yeah, it turns out McDonald's does serve hot coffee, you know. It's all my fault. Like my dad used to say, you shot it, Tarzan, you eat it. So there I sat at the bottom of that mess. I decided I was going to learn how money really works. Not what someone's opinion is, not what your broke brother-in-law thinks. You know, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about your Chamber of Commerce ideas. I'm not mad at the Chamber of Commerce, but I've heard all that garbage. And I got to thinking about it. I want to learn how this deal really works. And I went and talked to old people, old gray hair people and bald-headed people that had money and kept it. See, I don't want to talk to young rich people. I've been one of those. I didn't want my opinion. It didn't work, you know? And so I went and talked to people that won, and I started discovering this disturbing thing called common sense. Turns out it's like Benjamin Franklin used to say, nothing's more uncommon than common sense. And I started applying these devastatingly simple, easy to understand but hard to do things to my life, and it started revolutionizing my life. My wife Sharon and I were able to turn around and start walking together again. We had a sense of control, a sense of destiny, and now many years later we've led literally millions upon millions of individuals and families all around the world through these simple steps, through this simple process. And it's not magical, it's really, really hard. There's no big secret. There's no mystical thing here. It's tough. So if you're in this room and you know you're looking for a microwave, you're looking for a get-rich-quick thing, you're in the wrong room. You're in the wrong room. We sell crock pots. The stuff we teach is hard to do, but it absolutely works. But what we figured out is 98% truth is a lie, so you've got to align yourself with the truth. And when we found that, we were able to win. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Everybody stand up for a second. You see, what happens is this. Here's what I want you to do. All the time that we're together, you have to play my games, or I will mess with you, okay? If you don't play my games, I'll mess with you, because here's the deal. If you play my games, then you learn and things happen for you. So here's what we're going to do. I need everybody in the place right now to close your eyes. Now, if I could have my staff collect your wallets. How you think we got financial peace? Now, so with everybody's eyes closed, seriously, here's what I want you to do. Don't open, no cheating, no looking around, no giving anybody a hint. And everybody's got to play. You can be wrong and I won't make fun of you. You don't play, I will mess with you. With your eyes closed, I want you to point north. No, ma'am, up does not count. And you have to try. I don't care if you're right or not, but you at least have to try. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Okay, stick with your answer. Open your eyes and look around. Oh my goodness. According to my compass, north is right through there. Have a seat. That one guy, I told you I won't make fun of you, so I won't say where he was, but he was pointing exactly the wrong way. And I said north, it looked like a cheerleading move. He changed so fast, he didn't want his wife to see, change that. But you know what? You know what we just discovered? Sometimes your feelings will trick you. If you go with your feelings, you're going to be lost. some of you are like pretzels. I mean, you're just totally, you had no idea. And you played along, and I appreciate that. But the truth is, if you go with if I feel, I don't care where you feel. My job is to totally hurt your feelings until you get it that that's north. And if that makes you mad, or makes your spouse mad, or makes your broke mother mad, I don't care. That's north. And we're going to keep talking about that, keep talking about that, keep talking about that, all through Financial Peace University until you can align your behaviors with that, and then you will have a sense of protection, a sense of destiny, a sense of control, a sense of confidence, and a sense of future on where you're going with your money and with your life. But as long as you're out here doing this over here, that's not north, and you're trying all this other garbage, you're going to be in pain. But when Sharon and I got on Bead North, it rocked our world. It changed our lives. It was powerful. And what we've discovered is that the normal, average American is facing the exact same kinds of things. I mean, when we look at studies, what we find is stuff like this. The Wall Street Journal says 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That means if in your mind's eye right now, you count 10 houses on your street, 7 of them have too much month left at the end of the money. 3 out of 10 of those houses are having fun. The rest of them, on bill night, the kids go to the neighbors because we're going to fight. There's stress in this house. There's this sense of out of control. There's this sense of I'm lost and spinning in circles. 70% are living paycheck to paycheck. Not me, Dave. I live in an upper class neighborhood. I know the actual studies tell us in that neighborhood it's more like 8 out of 10 are living paycheck to paycheck because we're looking good and got no money. Totally broke. And that's what all the studies are telling us. It's out of control. And the weird thing is the Marist Institute did a study that says 55% of Americans are always or sometimes worried about their money. Now, when you put this together, it gets a little bit funny. 70% are living paycheck to paycheck. 55% are worried about it. The other 15% are having a Prozac moment. Just too stupid to worry about it. I mean, something's up here and something's got to change. You know, what we've done is discovered that we finally found a picture that pretty well outlines what the average American family's finances look like. We have people come in our office look like that all the time. They're going, Dave, we just can't get traction. So, yeah, it's because you overloaded your donkey. Yeah. Or you're like these two guys where you think the grace period is the time you spend praying for the money to make your payment. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through 13 different lessons, actually 12 lessons with a bonus lesson. Each of these lessons are designed to be worth more than what you paid to go through the course. Your return on investment ought to be about tenfold per lesson. And that's not instantaneous, that's throughout the scope of your life. Again, this is not get rich quick, and it's not easy. If you're looking for easy, you're in the wrong room. This is tough. The only thing I'll promise you is if you do the things I teach you over time, over and over and over and over again, they will work.
Financial Peace University is not just a class that you go through. It really is a lifestyle change.
I suddenly realized that I had $900 a month that was going no place. I had no idea where it was going.
The credit card debt, it wasn't a lot. $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 at a time. But for me, that was overwhelming because I couldn't see the way out.
Our first lesson that we're going to teach is super saving, common sense for your dollars and cents. And we're going to outline the whole process on saving money and putting all of that together. Then we're going to go into a lesson called Relating with Money. Nerds and free spirits unite, where we talk about marriage and money and singles and money and kids and money. And we talk about the relationship aspects of money. See, what we found is that personal finance is about 80% behavior. It's only about 20% head knowledge. And so you've got to shift your behavior. And that involves relationship issues, doesn't it? If relationships are screwed up, your money's always going to be screwed up. And we're going to walk through the steps in relating with money on how to deal with that. Of course, we're going to do cash flow planning, the nuts and bolts of budgeting, the dreaded B word. We're going to go through how to put together a real game plan. And it's not a form of medieval torture. It's a process where you really learn how to handle money, and you're telling your money what to do, and you get this sense of power over your money in that lesson. Of course, the lesson that I'm probably best known for, dumping debt, breaking the chains of debt, getting people out of debt, so you can have that opportunity to scream, I'm debt free! And we want to walk you through that process on how you get there. And you get to call in on the radio show and be part of the program and do that stuff. Powerful, powerful lesson. Of course, credit sharks in suits. This is one of my favorite lessons. Understanding how to deal with the credit bureaus and how to deal with collectors. And some folks that go through our courses are behind, and other people just are helping people that are behind. So you have to know how to deal with the collectors and the credit bureaus. Buyer beware, the power of marketing in your buying decisions. We live in the most marketed to culture in the history of the world, and it impacts our money. We're going to talk about the details of that. That's an insightful lesson. I love that one. Cause and effect, the role of insurance in your financial plan. The thing we all love to hate, insurance. And man, aren't we getting ripped off on some insurance. There's lots of places you get messed over on insurance, and there's lots of kinds of insurance you need too. We're going to walk through what works, what doesn't, and why. And I don't sell any of it. So I'm just a teacher. You're going to get the opportunity to learn from a guy who's not trying to sell you something on that. That's not good enough. This is a fun lesson. How to buy big bargains. How to get deals on stuff out there. It's things you already know, but I'm going to put it in a way where you remember to do it more often and get the deals. Of mice and mutual funds, understanding investments. We go through mutual funds and stocks and bonds, and we're going to teach you all the details of all those things you've heard about for years. Some of you are already doing some of these things, but we're going to show you the stuff in a real world way where anyone can understand it. We put the cookies on a shelf where you can reach them. That's what we specialize in. From fruition to tuition, planning for retirement and college. Put those kiddos through college with no student loan debt. Retiring with dignity. What is a 403B? What's a 401k? What's a 457? What's a Roth IRA? How do those things work? When do they work? When should I use them? When should I not? This lesson right here is worth millions of dollars if you get it. Working in your strengths. I get more letters probably on this lesson than I do just about anything. When people go through this lesson, they change the way they look at their career path forever. So this is talking about how you make your money. Not only part-time jobs and things you do while you're getting out of debt, but your long-term view of careers. That's a fun lesson. Real estate and mortgages, keeping the American dream from becoming a nightmare. And of course, I've owned over 1,000 pieces of real estate in my life. I know a lot about real estate. Yes, I lost money in real estate, but I also made a lot of money in real estate. So I've got something to tell you about that. And I grew up in a real estate household too. So we can teach you a few things about buying your next home or getting ready to sell your next home. The great misunderstanding, unleashing the power of generous giving. This is our final lesson. This is the bonus lesson, and it is it's a home run. It's one of the best ones, and you'll enjoy it. There's not a bad one in the bunch, otherwise we would have taken them out. So it's good stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun together. It's not get rich quick. Here's what you can expect, okay? When you come to class, the class is going to be taught by me on DVD. It's fun, it's funny, it's energetic, and then you're going to break into small groups and have a discussion. And that's where people's lives are changed, in that small group. Because as I said, this is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. And so you have to shift those behaviors. And by being in that small group and talking about things, it'll mess with you. Here's my point. Did you know that Weight Watchers has a fabulous weight loss program? Did you say yes? They do. But did you know they don't sell magic food? Do they? Say no. You know why you lose weight when you're on Weight Watchers? Because on Tuesday or whenever your day is, you have to go in there and get up on the scales. And if that day with those scales is waiting right there in your near future, you can walk right past the ice cream. Because that accountability will allow you to change your behavior. And when you modify your behaviors in anything, from a negative behavior to a positive behavior, you transform and re-energize your life. And so that's the power of Financial Peace University. Coming into those small groups, getting that interaction with those people, because we're gonna lovingly be in your face on this. No, we're not going through your underwear drawer and check and see every little thing and make sure, and you see all your credit cards. We're not doing all that. But we are gonna be going, hey, here's what smart looks like, and here's what a budget looks like, and you come in here, you need to have this done. And we're gonna lovingly be there to remind you, just like you gotta get up on the scales on that Tuesday night. And if you know that reminder is waiting during that 13 weeks, you will modify and change your behavior. The last thing I want to remind you about Financial Peace University is you can go online at any time. Once you're a member, we've got a huge online support system to get updates on things, to get dynamic forms, to get laws that have changed in the tax thing, and really, we're going to be there with you for the rest of your life. This is a lifetime membership. Your spouse attends free. You go back through as many times as you want. If your life situation changes, maybe you're going through and you're single, come back through later if you get married. Make that new spouse come with you, because you'll be on the same team that way, and you'll learn how to handle money together. It absolutely works.
The principles I've learned through Financial Peace have given me the tools I need to prepare for the next step of life.
But one of the things that happens when you begin to get your finances under control, you find out that you have a lot more money to give above your regular tithe and your offerings.
We paid off our $56,000, and we've subsequently paid off our home, and it's a great place to be completely debt-free.
So normal in North America is broke. If you live normal, you're broke. We don't want to be normal. You know, the Bible in Romans 12:2 says, "Be not conformed to this world." If you're conformed to this world, you're going to look like them. You're going to be just like them, and that's broke. I don't want to be normal. My goal is total weirdness. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed. And how are you transformed? By the renewing of your mind. When you go through these lessons and you go through this accountability with the small groups and you do the online participation and all that kind of stuff, your mind is changed. When you change your mind, you change the way you look at things and you change the way you do things. You're transforming your life. You know, there's over 800 scriptures that deal with how to handle money. Jesus talked more about money than he did about love. Is that because money is more important? No, it's because he figured out, being God, that sometimes we get too attached to this thing and don't work enough on this thing. And sometimes if he works on this, he gets to get to here. And so lots of churches all across America and parachurch organizations and all around the world for that matter are teaching Financial Peace University because it's God's ways of handling money. The Bible has a lot to say about money. And when my wife Sharon and I started handling money the way God says, it works. It's amazing. God's a smart guy. And so we're going to unpack all through these lessons God's views on debt, God's views on budgeting, on investing, and what to do according to Scripture on these things. And the good news about that is you're not counting on me for truth. You're counting on someone where you know you got a true north. You got a north that matters. You got direction that you know that you can count on. And you know, sometimes we kind of come at these things a little bit selfishly, and that's perfectly fine. It's good for you to come in here and learn how to get your act together. That's a Christian thing. The Bible says, he that doesn't take care of his own household is worse than an unbeliever. But you know what else happens? If you learn through this process to live like no one else, you get to give like no one else. But broke people can't give. That's a basic math equation, isn't it? And so what we teach you to do is get your act together, not only for you, but so that you're blessed, but you're blessed then to be a blessing. And that absolutely works. See, the definition of insanity, the 12-steppers say, is continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You got to change your behaviors. You got to change the process. Doing the same thing over and over again won't work for you. The sum total of the decisions you've made to this point has brought you to where you are financially. If you want to stay there, keep doing what you've been doing. But if you want to be in a different place, you have to do something different than you used to do. And that means changing and transforming your mind, and that's the process we're going to work you through. We're going to give you a chance to sign up and go through this class, and in 91 days, the average family is paying off $5,300 in debt and saving $2,700. That's an $8,000 change in position. That puts you in a position to not only get control of your own life and not only get control of your own future, but change your family tree. You know, the Bible says a godly man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And if you will learn to live like no one else, you'll get in a position to give like no one else. So the opportunity is here for you to sign up, be part of this program, not only to transform your life and not only to transform your family tree, but to get in a position to transform everything around you.